Hello everybody, Darren here, and welcome to Timberborn. Now this is a sponsored video in celebration of Timberborn's latest update, Update 5, BADWATER, which is out now. Now this update introduces new toxic wastewater of human origin that contaminates beavers and kills plant life. There's also a new season alongside the wet season and the drought called Bad Tide, where regular water sources become polluted with bad water, so you'll have to prepare with new buildings and production chains to treat the bad water into a new resource or potentially seal off its source. There's also a host of new attractions and decorations and a bunch of quality of life improvements and new animations. For this and more, make sure you click the link in the top comment and description, which will take you to the Timberborn Steam page where the game is sitting at overwhelmingly positive reviews. Clicking the link will help the team know I sent you. So it would mean a lot if you did it rather than just searching it. Today I'm going to be booting up the game and setting up a starter colony while also dabbling with fluid dynamics and trying not to flood my own settlement. So let's begin. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the founding site of Rome. That's right, our little Roman beaver republic right here. Now there is actually a map called Beaver Rome, which has 7, not hills, but depressions that you have to kind of either drain or fix. It just seemed way too difficult for me at the moment anyway. So we're starting with our own little beaver republic here on the lakes map. So I thought really quickly we'd just pause time because we're actually against the clock. There's going to be a drought. We have to prepare for that. But before we do, I wanted to go through the UI of the games, just to bring everyone up onto the same page. So in the top left of the screen, we have well-being. We're going to be keeping an eye on that number quite a lot because it's our hunger, thirst, sleep, shelter, and wet fur. All of our basic needs, our nutritional needs, social life, of course, the aesthetics around us, the fun, knowledge, and the awe that we can basically bestow upon our beavers. Now, it's important to actually bring this number up because if we maintain 15, we then unlock the Iron Teeth clan, which have a little bit of a different modifiers to them. They play just slightly differently to give you a little bit of variety in there. They're basically better at metallurgy than they are at farming. Right, so all of those are tracked individually on each individual beaver. We have our age, which district they're part of, and all of those needs underneath here. Now, the higher that the well-being is for the particular beaver, we get a bonus. Working speed, movement speed, and life expectancy. So if you want to get the most out of your beavers, you want to basically have as many of these bars as full as possible, then they'll be super efficient and very optimal. Now, on the top left, we have our science, right, our technology points basically, materials, all the different things we're going to be using as intermediaries before we make other things, the ingredients, very similar, but for the resulting food, and then we have our main construction resource, which is going to be logs, and then of course we have water as well. Top left, we then have the amount of population. We have adults and children, 8 to 4. Then we have the occupied beds, free beds, and homeless. We can see that all of them are homeless at the moment. And then we have the amount of workers, vacancies, and unemployed. So if we see this number up at all, it means some beaver's around sitting on his little butt doing nothing. And then if this number is up, it means that we don't have enough for the amount of jobs we've supplied, so we need more beavers. Alright, so that's basically everything we need to know, other than just up here is the day-night cycle. Well, it's not the day-night cycle, it's the just regular cycle, the seasonal cycle, I guess you could say, because then we'll see a drought kind of incoming, the water will dry up, the irrigated soil will go away, and we'll have to just kind of hunker down and basically live off of what we stored in between, and the droughts and changes get more severe over time. Alright, so let's begin. So we've basically got, the river right here. We have this big waterfall. We're actually playing on a map that's kind of small compared to some of the starter maps that you can play. You can play ones that are twice as big as this, and you can play one or two that are really, really small if you want an extra challenge. The diorama map is tiny. So what we're going to be hoping to do is, if our water source is up here, flowing nicely down, splitting left and then right, giving us all this irrigated soil here, and before it goes out of the map, kind of want to be able to redirect it maybe down this ravine, and that would irrigate a large part of the inside here. But then we could also, manipulate the terrain ourselves in order to kind of irrigate some of the central pieces too. So that'll be kind of the goal, and maybe raising the water level. You can see it's actually quite low, and you can raise it all the way up to the edge, and that would be effectively storing more for when the drought happens. It'll take longer for the river to kind of dissipate. So that's what we're going to be planning on working on. So to get the ball rolling, we'll just build our first path. Pathways are free. And they're instantly placed. So just going to kind of grab as much of that irrigated soil as we can, keep it on the inside of the path. Next up, we're going to go with water. So we want maybe a water pump, I would say. Yeah, I would say about there, actually. So it has to be over the water, of course, and over land. But the path we'll just bring that in. I just want to avoid the berry bush that's right next to me there. Right, so we've got berry bushes, we have trees. That's obviously what we want to grab. So resource-wise, we'll go to our wood category, lumberjack flag. Plant 1 or 2 there. We'll put maybe 1 or 2 here, and then again 1 or 2 here. So the bounding radius for this is basically the area that they can reach in terms of what they need to do, what they can grab, the resources that are available within that. And you can extend it with paths and then push it out further. The district also has a range itself, and that can just be extended, like I said, with pathways and things. Alright, so that's a lot of lumberjack huts. Let's just let time play. Let these guys get to work, basically, and we'll just give them a little pathway out here. Now, we'll want some sort of, I guess, log pile, right, to store up our logs. A large pile. Maybe place it right here. That'd be a good spot. Don't see why not. Well, we can obviously move it around later, but fairly central. It takes 6 logs to make. These don't cost any logs. And what we'll have to do then is designate trees for cutting. So we'll tell them that you're going to be able to cut all of the trees here. I want you to cut all of the trees in here. And obviously all of the trees out here. So when they kind of start working at their little areas, their lumberjack huts, or gathering posts, lumberjack flag. Once they start working there, then they have that designation right next to them that they can cut those trees. Alright, we'll just speed up time and let it play. And we can see them gnawing on the trees and chopping them down nice and quick. So they'll use all the logs that they're going to grab to make the large pile and then basically pile everything into that. Now, what we need to do as well is start thinking about food, right? So we need a farm. So I would say an efficient farmhouse can go right here. And we'll just leave it at the gap there for the future. And we also want to start planting crops. We'll start with carrots. Pretty standard 4-day cycle. And then we get 3 carrots out of each one. So I'm going to go with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go with a 10 by 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 by 10. Good size. 100 carrots. 100, so 300 carrot potential that we can get out of that. So that's pretty good. Although it'll take a long time to plant all of that and actually harvest it all. But it should be fine. Okay, so our water pump is working. So we need a worker to be designated on that. So I'm just going to turn off one of these gathering posts each. I've just bound it to a hotkey of F. So turning it off by clicking up here just means that no one's going to be working that. Someone's going to take this one instead. We have 2 beavers idle at the moment. But I want them to be kind of working in the farm. So we can actually increase the amount of beavers we have in the district center. And that will increase the amount of builders we have. That's what the workers are for the center. It's just the amount of builders. So they're basically just getting the job done here. 6 logs have been delivered. They're building it up. Bonk. And then we just basically assign it to take logs. So now they'll bring everything there. In future, we'll be able to get a hauler's post. So just beavers that are literally going to just move things between areas, right? So just to speed up the efficiencies of that. And it means that the workers, you can see it's 75% efficient right now because you have to pump and then he has to go back to deliver it back to somewhere. If you can cut down the travel times as much, you're increasing efficiency, and that's kind of what it's all about. Thus increasing your chances of survival. So I'm going to make 2 small tanks to hold our liquid, hold our water. And you know what? We're going to increase the working hours to 20 per day because they don't really have any social life. They've got nothing to do anyway, so you might as well just keep working through the night until we give you other things to do and we want to make you happier. Then we can reduce those hours back down. But right now, survival is the most important thing. You just see them just fast asleep out in the world. So obviously we'll give them houses and things soon, but the priority is setting up kind of food infrastructure and everything first, I would say. Alright, just let time play on triple speed. And the farmhouse is done. So there's actually 3 available jobs in a farmhouse. So we want people to get in that immediately and start planting those seeds just so we can reap the benefits as soon as possible. And then there's all these berry bushes out here we want to gather as well. So how much wood do we have? 14. How many beavers? There's 3 vacancies. That's going to be all in there. I guess we could reduce down one of the wood. We'll keep going with that, and we'll reduce down some of the builders. And that allows us to now say the prioritized resource. It doesn't really matter, but carrots. These guys should take up work in here. There we go. All 3 jobs are filled, and they're planting away. So all good. Now, when these are actually planted, you know, it takes 3 days. We can actually just turn off the jobs in here and just wait, and then just put the jobs back on when we want to actually harvest the resource. So that's what we'll do. Kind of rotate things around as they're needed. At least at first, until everyone can kind of have a little bit of idle time and we don't mind too much. But we're almost fully planted, actually. It's pretty quick to do it in just 1 day. There we go. So now we'll just turn off that building. It's not needed. And we'll just let these grow over time and let these guys get back to chopping more wood. And I guess we should also be gathering berries. We need to do that as well. And we're going to need storage for all this stuff. So let's do a medium warehouse maybe here and another one there with a little pathway going between them. We'll designate this one to be, let's say carrots. So you don't have to go too far from the farms. A little distance, but not too far. And then berries. Alright, so gathering post, then we'll be in the food section, gathering flag. So, yeah, we'll just slam this down. Actually, I'll pop it right out here. 2 of those. And then beavers will go out and start gathering from the berries as well. Alright, it's a new day. And the beavers are out gathering their berries. Some of them are thirsty. Is he just asleep? He hasn't woken up yet. What a lazy sod. I've never noticed that before. That they can sleep longer than the time that... Like, everyone normally just gets up and goes out and starts working. But anyway, yeah, so we have our pumps doing their things. We are actually gathering water, so he just has to go in and get some water for himself. He'll be fine. Alright, actually, we should get another water pump anyway on the go, just to prepare for the oncoming drought. We'll get more storage tanks, right? Small tanks. And just extend the path out a little further. Now, with the rest of the wood that we get, I think we'll start planning out where they're going to actually live. Food should be fine for a while. We're mostly living on berries, but the harvest is coming up soon enough. So, last thing, efficient farmhouse. Going to put another one down, just there. So that when we want to harvest, which takes a little longer, we can activate 2 of these buildings, go out, harvest as fast as we can, and then just turn them off when they're not needed. So just hopefully utilizing the irrigated terrain for as much time as possible. Like, having it grow as much as possible, not waiting for us to kind of harvest a long time. Alright, now we're going to start having a look at actually where we'll put these houses. So I think I'll just extend the pathway out here, just see what that's like. And yeah, we've got housing, a standard lodge. Let's tuck it in just a little bit from the side. So 1, 2, 3. We'll go 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to do a pathway around like this, leaving a bit of a gap because we might want to build stuff on top of it in the future. Alright, it's a new day. Our first houses are being built. So the way it works is you can only get new beavers, like children, if there's space for them to live. So every house has room for 3. So we've currently got a population of 12. So we basically just need to overbuild if we want to grow our population. That's how we can kind of control it. Alright, so first nighttime where we've got no homeless. So everyone is living in a little house. So that's nice. Alright, I think we're going to put in a few extra houses, actually. Just because we want them to kind of balloon up the population early on fast. Obviously not too fast, we need to make sure we have enough food for everybody. But we'll just do another block. Sort of similar to how we did before, but here. Alright, that should be plenty of room for new beavers to come of age. Nice to see, though, our water is, like, pretty much completely full up. 150 is the max capacity we can have, and I think 150 should carry us through the first drought, I would think. But it's interesting, yeah, the pumps can't pump anymore if it's full, and now the harvest has come in. So what we'll do is we'll just turn off the water pumps for a minute, or for a day. We'll turn this back on, and we'll set the priority to be harvesting. So I don't want them replanting right away. Just want them to harvest as much as they can, grab everything all together. We'll turn this on as well. And so for all the log cutting that we're doing at the moment, just going to turn that all off. So we should have enough now for both farms, yeah, to be active. So we can actually continue a little bit of log cutting, so that's good. And there we go. Harvesting away, grabbing as many carrots as possible. We know that this should be about 300, which we don't actually even have the storage for, so they'll eat some of it straight away. Alright, and we've got nothing going on for the berries, so we'll just keep the water rolling as well then. Now, we have an idle beaver, and we're doing pretty good. I would like to get some tech going, and then we can get a forestry building up, right? We want a forester so we can replant our own trees and kind of control the rate at which we actually get our own stuff, but we need a lumber mill for that. So there's a few steps involved. I guess a lumber mill first would be good, right? So we'll go with, yeah, I guess somewhere out here. Lumber mill just like that. So that's going to refine logs into planks. but it needs to be powered. So we'll go into our power category. Now you can get a water wheel that generates power based on the flow of water, but it's a little advanced, I feel like, just for us right now. Instead, we'll just get a little beaver's power wheel, right? So a beaver will run on this, providing power, so it requires two beavers, to kind of make this work. But if you put them next to each other like that, they just snap in together, totally fine. And that should be the exact power requirement we need anyway. I think this can produce up to 50 power, and the the lumber mill requires 50, yeah. So they're basically designed to do that one-to-one together. Got enough logs in storage now, 62, that they can be built pretty quickly. Harvest is still ongoing. Now that's their prioritized action, right, is to plant one of them. The other one is to harvest. So they'll still, if they can't plant anymore, they will harvest. So I guess it actually kind of works out. And there we go. Easy as that. So we have our little beaver here running on its power wheel, and then we have Kaylin, who is turning logs into planks. And we're going to need those in order to build our forestry building. But also, we'll have to unlock that through technology, and we're not getting any tech yet, so we need an inventor. So beaver only beavers are allowed to work in this workplace, all right? That's because we can get the automaton-type beavers later, so we'll talk about those later. So maybe we'll just build 2 of these down here, and again, we reassign them to speed up our tech from things when they're not needed. So nobody's needed in the efficient farmhouse now, or in this one, because they're totally full. So instead, we'll just top up the amount of builders that we have, get this stuff built, and we'll have to just make sure that we're not over-consuming our logs, you know, turning too many of them into planks. We only need a very small amount of planks here to begin with, and yeah, with the beavers that are remaining, we'll just keep cutting wood. We're getting kind of low, actually, around here, but these little saplings will keep reproducing more trees for us for free, but would like to actually get the forestry building up so we can kind of control our own growth rates. Alright, there we go. The inventors are working away, toiling away at discovering more things. So our science points now are just going to be going up over time, and we'll just use that to unlock the forestry building. So it's 60 science is what we need. It's a small enough amount at the beginning. Now, how many planks does that take? It takes 7. We already have 8, so not to burn through too much wood, I'm going to actually just pause this now that it's just made a new one. Pause that as well. Frees up 2 more of our beavers. Keep collecting water, I guess. Any extra wood? No, I think we're good. We'll just leave it at that. Let them keep working on gathering what they can. Alright, so we've just about hit 60 tech points, so I'm going to unlock the forester now. And we can place that down. So that's basically the area that it can reach, so just going to place it somewhere in here. Totally fine. And then we can plant a dedicated forest kind of in here. So what I'd like to do is make sure we grab all that as quickly as possible. So perhaps... let's see. Let's go with the lumberjack flag facing this way, and then a little pathway coming down here. It's not the most efficient use of the terrain, but it'll be fine. Right, and we'll just stop the ones that are here and here, and here and here. Right, so I just want everyone working out here, making sure we get rid of all those trees while this is being built. That's totally fine. And then, yeah, we'll basically just designate this to be some sort of crop. So I just want to grab the ones that are still standing before we actually go over the rest. Alright, it's a new dawn, it's a new day. Now, if we're going to start planting trees, we've basically got a few different options here. We have dandelions, blueberries, birch, pine, chestnut, maple, and oak. And they do things at different rates. It takes 30 days for an oak tree to come of age, or we can harvest it for 8 logs, which I think is the best, but it's the longest investment. But you can get other things like this. Maple will actually give you logs, but it also gives you maple syrup. But the tree has to come of age, 28 days, and then 12 days later it'll produce the sap. Same with the chestnut trees, right? You want to get chestnuts, you want to get pine, resin, etc., etc. So we're just going to go with pine, because it's only 12 days, and we get 2 logs, so it'll keep us going for a while, but then we'll make bigger investments a little later down the line. So we're going to make quite a dense area here, maybe as far over as this, as it's all irrigated soil anyway. Leaving just a bit of a gap there so we can run through should we need to, which we might need to get over that way in the future. Because I want to dam off this area here to prevent any of the bad water from kind of seeping in, but also to prevent our water going down the waterfall going out that way. I don't really want it to do that. I want it to kind of continue over this way and fill this area more. That'd be the ideal. So what we'll have to do as well is go cut trees. So they've already been designated to be cut. So this one should be cut soon. Any little sapling should be removed, I think. Now the forester is going to have to go out and manually plant that. You can only have 1 forester, I think, for the area, so it can take quite a while for them to plant everything. So maybe it'd be worthwhile building a couple more of these, but they do require planks, so it takes a little bit of time. And we're a little low on wood. 158's fine, but we're running out of what's available to us. So just don't want to, you know, overspend it, basically. Still no sign of the first drought, actually. I'm really surprised with that. I thought by now for sure. But I guess on this difficulty, maybe it doesn't happen until day 12, 13, or 14 or something. One thing that seems to be not very optimal is putting all my water storage in one place. It is optimal in terms of like delivering that water in there, but it's not for everyone who wants to go get a drink. They all have to move out here to get one and then run back. So I suppose having these kind of dotted throughout the settlement is probably ideal. And then when we get the haulers, right, the guys that will just move stuff, hauling post, it needs 10 planks. Yeah, we can do that soon enough. We can have a dedicated beaver that goes around and make sure everything's topped up. All right, day 13. Day 14. So in 3 days, there's going to be a drought. Yeah, I think we're totally well prepared for this first one, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. But what I'd like to do now that we've hit 9 planks, we can get a second forester up and running. So I think somewhere out here is probably a decent spot for it. Actually, you could probably tuck it on the inside, make use of that non-irrigated terrain there. So just pop it there, and then we can start looking to plant out another area here. So let's see, how do we want to do this? Do we want to uproot these? They're still going to take quite a while before they... Yeah, they're going to dry out, actually, with the drought anyway. So I think, yeah, we could uproot these. I think it would be good to put some water down now near their houses. So 2 tanks, small tanks down here. I think it would be good just because they often seem to come out of their houses and run straight for the water in the morning. Or a lot of them do. Depending on how thirsty they are. Because I've seen like a thirst wave sort of hitting them, and then they wake up and like a bunch of them just run out and grab there. So having them right next to where they wake up in the morning, I feel like would be good, and then they can just go to wherever they're working. So hopefully that'd be a good idea. We'll see how it pans out. Alright, here we are. The drought has begun. So what that's effectively going to mean is that the water has now stopped flowing, and it won't take very long, but it's just going to start draining and draining and draining until it gets all the way down here, and then our soil will stop being irrigated. And then you've got a little bit of time left before these dry out completely and die. So you might as well just keep going, keep working, harvest as quick as you can and as much as you can. But then when the drought hits, it'll last for a couple of days, and we can focus on other things to do with the wood economy and anything to do with actually refinement and stuff like that. Just live off what we have. I'm hoping we've got enough water. It actually looks like bad water, but it's not. It's just the way the lighting is, I think. So that has faded out. That's us dried out now, boys. Alright, but we should be fine. I'm confident enough. I mean, we've definitely got enough food. 455. We've got 15 beavers, 4 kids, so in total 19. And 149 water. I'm a little bit worried the water might run out right towards the end, but it should be okay. Look at this guy carrying his little bucket all the way down to here. And yet, he's taking his drink. Love to see it. It's working as intended. Now, there's still some time. It says it dies in 2.1 days, so there's still time for these guys to go out and harvest. And I just want them really harvesting, not planting, because the plants may just die before they could even, you know, take hold or do anything, really. Now, they're not actually putting anything anywhere because we don't have enough storage. That's been a consistent issue for me. So, yeah, I'm not really too sure where. I guess I want other things to go back here. And this was irrigated terrain, so probably just, again, somewhere a bit further in this way. And we'll have more of our food economy around that place, like the refinement of food. Alright, so it'll take a while for our little forester to work on. He won't do it until the soil gets irrigated. Now, he doesn't have to do... The planting of the potatoes is done by the farmers. But he's going to have to manually do the bushes and the trees himself. Now, maybe this forester could reach... Yeah, he can help out. He can do some of those ones on the sides. So prioritize resource, I'm going to say blueberries. So you just kind of go over and do that immediately. Your prioritized resource would be pine. So maybe you go down and do those ones first. Hopefully. How are we looking on water? 103. Food is totally fine. Population stable. We have about 20 in total. 5 children. Alright, the drought has ended. We are now entering into cycle 2. So it'll take a little while for the water to make its way down. So this is what the game is all about, really. It's building reservoirs and dams and controlling the water so that you can guarantee being irrigated all the time. That's like where the difficulty of the game comes in. It looks like BADWATER is already here, but there is a deposit down there for underground ruins. So you could also like dam off sections or try drain it out so that then you can access certain things that you can't normally get. So we're just in the survival stages right now, not really in the engineering stages, although we're pretty much poised to get into that pretty soon. I wanted to just mark some of these things for chopping down. So we'll get some beavers back on here. And we'll say cut trees. I don't want them cutting any of that stuff though just yet. Just say no for now. Just want them to cut the ones that are in the way of this path. And then also mark these for removal, so we can put our pathway down. So I'm thinking that we connect across here and we can dam this up to prevent the water going that way in the future. There we go. Irrigation coming back. Now we can also increase, maybe we've got 2 haulers on. That's good. They can help distribute the water out to those different areas we talked about before. Now what we'll need for this is landscaping, right? So we can build a dam, a levee, floodgate, so we can control the height of the floodgates. We'll then eventually get dynamite, dirt excavators, and terrain blocks, so you can actually plop down blocks of terrain. You could just use the levee. I don't know, does it do anything different? Other buildings can be built. Ground only, must be built on the ground. So this doesn't have to be built on the ground. Yeah, I feel like levees do the same job, but I guess it just looks more aesthetically pleasing if you can actually place your own terrain and just completely control how everything looks. So flow actually matters, like where the river is flowing. You can create levees to like really funnel water into a smaller space and then increase the flow rate, thus increasing the power that you get from something like the water wheel. So we want to basically place these down. So just going to have to try and think of how we're going to get across, place them down, and where they should go. So going to use the, not that, but the platform, right? So it's 100 science points. So we'll just grab that. So platform here just going straight across is like a bridge, basically. That's what we'll use right there. Yeah, so the interesting thing with these is they actually take planks. And for the amount, we built 9 across here. And that's going to be 36 planks. We don't even have that right now. So we'll also have to re-up the power wheel and the lumber mill for a little while. Oh, one of our beavers died of old age. Got to make them happier to make them live longer. So what we'll do as well is just connect that path all the way across. Bonk. And you can actually connect it across even on the thing like that, just to extend the district's range. And then what we're going to do is place the water wheels. So because there's 9, it's an uneven amount of water wheel is 2 across. There's going to be a gap on one side or the other. Now because the water is flowing across this way, right, it's actually slower on the inside here than it is here. So we'll start with the kind of middle and work our way across. Now I don't think we're going to need more than 1 for a while. Sorry, not a power wheel, a water wheel. So we'll start, I would start with 1 there first. And then in order to make it actually operational, we'll need a platform that can reach out to the edge and extend the power across that way. Now these are just platforms, not dams. They don't do anything to the water. They're just built in the water. So why have I done that? It's because power needs power shafts that are going to then stretch out and connect, almost like wires on a grid. So we'll connect the power out to buildings here. We'll probably just build a little sawmill out there. It's a shame to have to use the terrain like that, the irrigated terrain, but I guess we just kind of have to. And then we can start making planks without needing 2 beavers. Instead, we'll just need 1. So that'll be the idea. Alright, our potatoes are now being planted. Now, the potatoes can actually be refined. So in the food category, we have a grill. And it's 1 potato and 1/10 of a log. Takes about an hour, about half an hour, and then you get 4 grilled potatoes out of it. So you can basically make your 1 potato go much further. And you can do that with chestnuts and with other things as well. So want to get a grill built and have a chef in there working away once we get our first harvest of potatoes. What we'll also need to make sure we have is storage for them. So something I didn't even think about until just now. So storage of goods goes in little warehouses. Storage of materials for building goes in large piles. So what we need is a medium warehouse maybe here for potatoes. We'll just assign that preemptively. And then we'll need another one for grilled potatoes to be stored as well. But I'll need to see the size of the grill. So the grill could go in here. If the potatoes are going to be there anyway, we could maybe slam that in on the side. Real cute like. Storage then for a medium warehouse could be there. I don't see why not. And then we'll just get the road to wrap around and enter into both buildings. Ah, wrong side. Not that it really matters, but you can put some decorations there to increase happiness. Alright, tons of building projects ready to go. We're just kind of now bottlenecked by trees. I'm waiting to get more trees. It's at 77%, a lot of the growth so far. Decided to put down a couple of water towers. Actually, maybe I'll just do the one. One would probably be more suitable. It's in a decent location as well. So if they get a small tank filled on this side of the town as well, so then they can get water from here, they can get it from here, and obviously up here if they're ever crossing over. That's kind of just our main storage point, but we can get bigger containers there in the future. That's why I've left a gap behind it, because the medium tank, 120, don't want to get it yet. I think it requires gears, but you can actually see the size of the building before you've unlocked it, so placing it in there would be ideal. How big is the biggest one? It's thick. Oh, actually, it does tell you the cost right here. Yeah, it does require gears. Yeah, cool. Gears need to be refined from planks, so that's a whole nother thing, but we need power for that, so we need to get this water wheel up and running. So something I've decided to do as well is turn on the hauling post up to the full amount of workplaces, but just lower down the priority so that it's only going to be taken if someone's really just not doing anything else. So that's ideal. Wow, yeah, we're actually pulling in tons of logs now, over 100. And we're just about halfway through gnawing through this sort of plantation of logs. Alright, and the potatoes are coming in now as well. Beavers are out harvesting. They should store them into our potato warehouse, but that's actually just not built yet. Still waiting on the logs for that. We've got 4 builders out running around now, though, so hopefully they're able to get that project done. It's kind of important, actually, so I might increase the priority of that and this one. We're up to 23 beavers now with 7 children. So you just got to keep on top of like the water demands, the food demands, and make sure we're scaling correctly. I think with the cookhouse turning potatoes into grilled potatoes, we should be fine. Might even need 2 storehouses for these, because we're basically turning all of these, we're quadrupling these numbers, right? So if we get 50 potatoes, we fill up 1 of these. Oh, I didn't even realize, but the water wheel has been built. Nice. So it's generating nearly 200 HP? Horsepower? Yeah, I guess horsepower. I couldn't think of it for a second. But yeah, 200 horsepower. Nice. And that just maintains itself forever, unless the river flow changes, of course. The power will drop. So during a drought, you're not going to have any power. Now, we've already raised the water slightly because the water has been completely levied, right? It's not going that way anymore. It's been stopped. And now it's just curling around to the left. So the flow, more of it is going this way. So the flow should be faster. So if you play on this map and you don't do that, because I'd had a little test run before, and I actually put a water wheel right next to the edge, and it was barely moving at all. So that's how I learned, like, oh, okay, flow rate really does matter in this game. Water physics is a thing, and it's quite a big thing. And yeah, actually constraining the water a little bit and forcing more to come this way has nearly doubled the output. I think I was on about 120 when I had it out in the center, so I'm pretty happy to see that. Now, what I haven't tried before is raising the water any higher so that it doesn't go away as fast during a drought. And the only way to do that would be to kind of, I guess, maybe dam off this area here. Or use floodgates, actually, would be the way to do it. But then your water would be stagnant. So keep things irrigated, but the power would still stop. It's quite interesting. Ooh, day 13. Another drought approaches. Okay. So that's a day sooner than it was last cycle. Interesting. We're almost ready for this project to be done. We're just getting the rest of the... What's happened? Hey, cool. Level 6, well-being. We're back down to 5, but yeah, we're on the edge. It's good to see. Well, yeah, how's our food situations? We're actually pretty good. We have grilled potatoes being cooked at the moment. I don't know if they eat the raw potatoes, thinking about it. I hope not. I'll just join it across like that, and that's where I'm going to build the floodgates and the dam. So for landscaping, we'll need a standard floodgate, I think. So let's do that. 150 research. We've got nearly 800, so that's great. We're doing really good with that. It takes 5 planks each. We've got we've got 1 plank right now. We're using all the planks, so we're gonna have to obviously store quite a few. So it's gonna be what, 5 times something like, is it 9? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 times 9. So we need 45 planks in storage before we can actually build that. And then we'll need 90 wood. So it's gonna be quite a lot. Nice, you can actually see the bushes are maturing and some of the trees are coming in now as well. Didn't expect that, actually, so that's really good, and we've got trees over there. So yeah, the economy's doing well. Well-being 7. Wow. I don't even know how we're doing that, because I'm not meeting any new demands. I think people just... Yeah, interesting. We should get them their wet fur demand, actually. That'd make them quite happy, which is, I think in well-being, it's the shower. So they just needed to be near water. And it takes 1 plank. Okay. And 10 wood. Stick it right in there, maybe. I'll tell you what. There, that's a nice little spot for it. You have your shower out that way. Maybe have another shower here. That'll be alright. Little access to water. Alright, we're up to 24 planks now. That's pretty good. Alright, we can start the dam process. I don't think it's going to get done in time for this particular drought, which is a shame. But the floodgate blocks water up to an adjustable height. I just realized we could just levy it and just put the floodgates in the center. We don't have to have floodgates go across the entire thing. I don't know why I didn't think of that till now. So let's do that. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Maybe 3 floodgates in the center. And then 3 levees again, so we're funneling the water in that way. I hope that works. It's an ambitious idea. Oh, we can see them. They're on the way. Look at them with their little logs. They have a job to do. We're going to dam this area up. Oh, yeah, but the water became stagnant, so the power wheel stopped. So that's interesting. Yeah, it's cool. In some ways, you could consider it a good thing. You've got time to now dam this up. Alright, there she is. All of that stuff is now dead. So we can build more houses and maybe build some of the decorations and things now. So, well-being. Let's see. A campfire? Rooftop terrace? Yeah, let's go with a rooftop terrace. Here and here. It's a nice little social place for them. A little grindstone on either edge. The grindstones can be in the center facing out, and then on the edges, maybe we could go with little shrubs. Yep, 20 science points is nothing. It costs 12 logs actually, which is not cheap at all for a shrub, but there it is. And then what we'll actually need, though, which is more important, is wooden stairs. So we'll unlock that. And that's a stairway to get up here. And then just connect that with a path, I guess. So the pathway will have to connect up here as well, connect into these little areas. So that's all connected up here. A little social hub on top of the houses. And here we are. Water has flowed in. Oh, it's so nice when it flows in. Great. Okay, good. Back to normal. Now, everyone needs to get back on water. We actually did just run out, and a couple people are thirsty, but not too many. Not too many. It was right on the edge. Well, right on the edge would be everybody, like, thirsty for a day or something before they start dropping. But it was on the edge of being on the edge, if that makes sense. Hey, they can finally get their showers as well. Looks good. Keep them nice and happy. Hey, love to see it. So that's our... I mean, it looks a little barren out this way, not gonna lie, but it's kind of nice. We have our little lamp in. Aesthetics within 1 tiles. Nocturnal by nature. Modern beavers do feel a little anxious when it's dark. Shrubs. Advocates for all things practical. Beavers like their decorations both pretty and tasty. And then we have our teeth grindstone. I would imagine it's not very efficient to pile all of these into the exact same area, but it's fine. These are the well-off beavers. This is the slums. Alright, I'm gonna, in anticipation of getting these gears ready, I'm gonna start demolishing this and this. So depending on your difficulty settings, I think I get 75% of the resources back. So not everything, but we get a decent amount there. Alright, the platforms are being built, so they should be able to just about get out to the next one now and start continuing that flood wall across. Alright, there we go. The last final bits of the flood wall are in position. So I think what I can do now is just go demolish, but we have to demolish it bit by bit. So we delete that one, and then a hauler will come and take the material away from the water. But we have to do that bit by bit, I think, because they can't reach it all if they can't walk on that part. So that's fair enough. Right, so what we can actually do here now is go synchronize the height to adjacent floodgates, so it's attached to those. So if we raise the height of the flood wall, that will stop the water completely. And it'll just immediately start backing it up and flowing it over, I guess. But no, it'll start to slowly fill until things are like super full, and then we can release it. But basically, we want to turn this on when a drought is about to happen. But we'll let it go open now. It's totally fine to just let it open up. But that'll be there for the future, for the next drought. Otherwise, what happens is you flood your buildings and you can't use them. So that's already happened here. Just by turning it off for a minute there. Oh, no, 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 no. It was just an example. Oh, crap. Oh, no. Now, they might be okay. Oh, they're okay. They're okay. You just, yeah, it says dies in a couple of days. It's not immediately. I thought, you know, you see it turn brown. I was like, that's it. Oh, that would have been rough. No, it's not too bad, at least, thankfully. A little bit of room for error. Yeah, okay, we're good. We're good. But yeah, dangerous, man. You can mess your game up a lot if you aren't careful with what you're doing. Because it's like when I mentioned before, I was like, oh, you could fill this, but what would happen is it would spill over. Now, it won't just spill and immediately go into this crevice and flow down. It would spill over here and probably go down and flood this entire area. So you'd have to be just really careful with where you're planning to release the water. Still no potato harvest. I'm surprised about that. So what I'm thinking of doing now, just for the fun of it, is kind of building a pathway up here and testing out making a sort of reservoir up there. So let's do that. Alright, there we go. It's quite the distance, but with some stairs, some planks or whatever, they should be able to do it just fine. And then we have to get rid of the bushes up there. Then I think we can build across, but we'll probably have to do platforms as well. In fact, just to be safe, I think we'll have to get rid of that bit. Now, it'd also be interesting to get some scrap metal from here, but that's kind of for a bit later, right? Metallurgy and all of that, using a smelter and a mine to get more advanced things, make robotics. You can make robotic beavers and stuff, so that could take quite a while. Not going to happen today, but that's kind of what they're there for in many ways. We have our first injury, actually. A beaver is injured. So what we could do there is well-being. We have the medical bed, a spot where injured beavers come to rest. So yeah. I don't see why not. It's only 1 plank and 5 regular logs. Where should we pop their little medical... It's a little tent. It seems a bit mean, but just kind of out of the way there. Go rest over there. Sheltered. Quiet. You'll be fine. We'll pop 2 of them down. Don't think they need anything else. Oh wow, our stairs are already finished. That was super fast. We're getting much faster at building. That's great. I'm sure it's because of the well-being, but also because of the amount of haulers we have, just carrying materials like super fast to where they need to go. So they're getting rid of these bushes now. Nice. Yep. Good job. Wow, that was so fast. Okay, cool. So what we'll need then, landscaping. I think we're looking like we want to go down. Is it 3 blocks? It looks like 3. That's 500 signs though. I don't want to make a mistake with this. Let's see. That's 1. Oh no, it looks like it's only 2. It's just 2. All right, we'll use the double floodgate then. And then we'll also need the double platform to get across to it. Alright, so the platforms are in place and the flood wall thing is in place as well. The levees will have to go up another level. But if I raise it too high, this will all burst as well. So I gotta fix that first. Or before we activate it. So these will need regular floodgate, I think. About here. Alright, I think that'll work for this area, I think. It should flow down into here before it goes across any further. I think so, anyway. But to actually get there is a bit more tricky. I think we'll have to just demolish a bunch of the resources here. I don't really need them or anything, so just clear the planting area. Or sorry, yeah, uproot these things. Hey, even the blueberries are in now. Finally, the first harvest of blueberries. It felt like, for some reason, that just felt like it took longer than I expected. And how's the potatoes? The grilled potatoes, man. Super full. And you should have grilled potatoes here as well, I think. Just in case we need more. What about regular potatoes? Now, we've already gone through all them. It's going to be another 3 days, I guess, before the potatoes get made again. Do have a lot of food, though. 721, 500 water. We're full up. With a certain amount of gears, we can make another one of these, actually, thinking about it. So let's just unassign those 2. And when they empty out, then we'll make another big tank. Oh, weird. Even just... Oh my god. Oh, crap. I didn't realize. But I've already redirected the water down this way. Well, there you go. It worked. But why did it happen so fast? So just putting in those 2 flood walls backed up enough water that it spilled over. That's all that happened. Because it is blocking it in 2 spots. So I guess we've slowed the flow rate just enough that has meant that it has to go somewhere. It's spilled over a bit. It's kind of interesting. I think the way I really need to manage that is say these are the high priority. And these are like just normal priority. But the only way they can even get to them is if we build out this way. So you have to continuously like remove the bushes and stuff over here. At least it makes sense. Now this will probably oh my god, that's what I was worried about happening. But it's okay. At least we never built out here. It's kind of cool though. It's filling the little lake. almost do it on purpose to fill up that lake as a reservoir. Drought's incoming, though, in 2.7 days. So you just want to make sure we have enough water and everything stored for all of that. So let's demolish these. And build a new storage container for water. A medium tank here. I'll just wait till they clear that. I don't think they build on the resource. They clear it first, but just in case. Alright, let's just try build over it, see what happens. Oh, it moves it. No, that's good. Oh, I'll just assign that to water. So I can set this little warehouse to obtain. It says obtain goods from other warehouses. So loggers or whatever, haulers, sorry, will try to empty this one out now and send it to here. So it's closer to our construction project. Probably should have been doing that from the beginning. Kind of forgot. But the drought is here. It looks like we're not going to see it this cycle. We'll see it next cycle, unfortunately. Are we good, though? I think we're okay. 350 water, 430 food. Still time to harvest all these berries. But we have a guy just sitting here, not doing it. Oh, there's nowhere to store them. Oh, wow. Well, there's nothing being stored here, so I guess use berries in there. There you go. Carrots are okay. Potatoes, grilled potatoes. Okay, yeah, we've got food for a while. There they go. Nice. So someone needs to work that and then just bring their water. I mean, it's going to go all the way down there unless we give them their own little thing. Could give them storage here, I guess. Small tank. High priority. Just pump as much of that out of there as you can. Every little helps if the drought's going to last twice as long as before, basically. There we go. Wow. So yeah, this is actually alright. I mean, 2 days into this drought and the river is still full of water, actually. And so the lake still has a little bit in it. That's like almost like a natural reservoir again, that if you could control the flood direction, fill that up. Or you can also use, what are they called? Water dumps. Yeah, fluid dumps. Basically, people will carry water over to it and it'll pump it in. And if you fill it all the way up, I mean, you have to maintain it for a while, but it can at least last you through the drought a little bit if you can manage a few beavers just doing that consistently. So in the next... Did I forget to close that? I think I did, didn't I? Right, in the next cycle for sure, we'll get to see our engineering projects at work and see if we've done a good job. Oh my god. Whoops. Did it again. Well, it's because it's not done yet. Although, how did that happen? It flows down there, flows down, and then it just broke the banks. Because you'd think it would just flow straight down, but it looks like it's actually gone across and over. Oh, I guess it's because it has nowhere to go. Yeah. It's nowhere to go. That makes sense. So if it can't flow out, it flows over. And then it fills this. Now, when this fills... I don't know, it's just going to spill over continuously in this entire area, I guess. Ha, look at them go. That'll be fine. Carrying some of that water away. Yeah, you can not work that building anymore, that's okay. Alright, looking a little bit better now. The dam is in position, the obstacles have been cleared, so now we have a way to flow out just from the very top of the thing. So it says, blocks water, but allows some to pass through a spillway at the top. So the idea is that it's supposed to fill all the way up to the pretty much the top of the block, and then the block flows over. So it should never go over it, right? Because the dam allows it to flow out. That's the idea. Yeah, so I was going to build a little levee there just in case that was to happen again, but it looks like we're good now. I don't even know if that's necessary anymore. We could try. I've also brought that up to 0.5. If I bring that up to 1, that will completely stop. That's why I think this should have been a dam as well. But it's the reason I did that was so I could control it and stop it completely. But I guess if it was a dam and there was no source flowing into this anymore, it wouldn't spill over. It would just slowly sit there and then evaporate away. So this probably never needed to be a floodgate in the first place. Probably should have just been a dam. This being a floodgate is kind of cool though, because we can hold back some of the water and like fill up a sort of a reservoir almost. But we've definitely raised the height of the water, which is pretty cool. And we've let it go through that way. So you can actually just completely let that flow now, and it'll always maintain that height, right? I think. I guess this is the difficult part of the map. It's like, okay, how do we control the flow out here? If I made that kind of mistake with the bad water, that would flow straight down and destroy the town, basically. Just contaminate and ruin everything. So that'd be the difficulty. You want to make sure you know what you're doing, and you build several levees and flood walls or whatever you need to guarantee that there's none of that's going to come through here, or give it another escape at the very least, right? So you could just levy up this side and hopefully it would just flow out that way, something like that. We just reached level 10. That's pretty nice. So what are we not doing? Wet fur could be met by more beavers. Maybe the 2 showers isn't quite enough. And obviously we don't have many different types of goods. 29 out of the 34 are using the rooftop terraces. They love the shrubs, and the lanterns are affecting some of them. Cool. I really like this feature as well, where you can set these to obtain goods from other warehouses and set these to supply. So the big tanks basically are receiving water from the water pumps like immediately, and then haulers are going to those and making sure that they supply the other ones. I just think that's really cool. I know some other games do stuff like that, but I've never seen it be called supply and obtain. Normally it's like priority based and stuff, so I don't know, quite like that. Alright, drought is approaching. Once that drought hits, we're going to be locking off our reservoirs and hoping for the best. Another refinement that looks kind of complicated is actually a bakery. Now the standard one is just making some wheat. You grind it first in a grist mill. So then you get your flour, you mix it with obviously just a little bit of logs for the burner, and then you get 5 loaves of bread. Gives you that extra nutrition, because obviously the goal of the game is to supply them with everything they need, not just so they get a variety of meal, I suppose. But yeah, maple pastries by the end. So you're mixing flour with some of the maple syrup. You get that maple pastries, and then you get cattail crackers as well if you mix it with cattail flour. And the cattail, I think, can only be grown on riverbanks. Required aquatic farmhouse. The plant must be partially submerged in water. Alright, drought's about to hit. So we'll slow down time. Oh, I didn't realize, but the water has come way down already. Damn it, did I like already miss it? Well, we don't want to raise this actually. We'll keep that open. That's fine. This could be, I was going to say we could have raised that. Just lock that. Just make sure all the water stays out this way. So it's going to flow down. Once it gets to this tier here, then I think I'll lock the gate down this way. And that'll just catch all the water and keep it in this area. We'll see how that goes. I feel like I'm not doing something right here. You guys can tell me in the comments, I'm sure. But there we go. So it's as low down as here now. So maybe now we just lock it. So that's the water we have. Now it's only 1 tile deep, and I feel like it's quite low. So this probably isn't going to last very long. I didn't really do it correctly, though. It was higher before, and clearly I just misjudged something. But it must have lowered slowly over time, the way I opened the gates or something. That's alright. We stay irrigated, though. We can keep farming for a little bit. The water wheel is stopped as expected, because, of course, there's no flow. That's not too bad. Even if it lasts us like a day or something, it's better than nothing. And we do still have the river out this way and the lake now. The lake will last for a really long time, so you can put a bunch of pumps on that. This has worked really well. We're almost halfway through the drought. It's actually worked. I did something right. And our LIDA is complete. Basic need for wet fur. So now they have 2 ways of getting their wet fur needs. So not just... Oh, look at it. You actually went in and swam in there. That's cute. Oh, I missed it, kind of. See if someone else gets in. Man, that's the perfect situation, isn't it? We're in a drought right now. And they're swimming in the water. They're kicking back. They're relaxing. That's perfect. Look at them all. They love it. I thought it said only 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there we go. They're all in there, man. And look at that. 11 well-being. We're well on our way to the 15. Alright. It looks like we've basically accomplished the goal of the game, for early game at least. Sustaining the... living through the several droughts at the beginning. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to have to be it for my look at Timberborn. Nice little sample of the game here. Of course, though, the further in you go, you start to harvest the BADWATER, do various different things with it. You can see some of that being teased here in the menus. BADWATER pumps, the mechanical fluid pumps, the centrifuges, the BADWATER dome, so you can lock off the source of it or release it at will, so you can do different things with it, and the BADWATER rig. There's also other different production chains that have been added to the game since. Of course, the game is in early access. It's on Steam, rated overwhelmingly positive, so you don't just have to take my word for it. And it's been a real blast to play. I really enjoy it. Seeing what some people can do with the fluid mechanics in the game is super impressive. Engineering feats. That I'm just nowhere near the skill level of doing yet, but maybe in the future. Alright, so that's going to have to be it for this video. Make sure you check everything in the description below. Check that link, and it helps me out greatly if you can follow it along to the page. Lets them know I sent you. Doesn't do anything else, but would appreciate it a lot. And that's going to have to be it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.